Welcome to Jimbo's Garage.
All right, so we're moving on to part 2 of the retractable train track platform here. And this is going to consist of making all the electrical boxes and components that's going to comprise this whole project. I've got stuff that's going underneath the side to allow all the wiring to go into place and all the controls. So I'm starting out here on the plasma cutter, and I'm cutting out all the pieces I need for several custom boxes that I'm making. This thing is going to be powered by a retractable cord that's going to be plugged into a main socket on the table. And as the table comes down, the cord is on a retractable reel, and it comes down. When the table goes up, it retracts back up. It's pretty clean. I'm not doing that. The electrician's doing that part of the deal. My job is to just get the boxes and everything made for him here. So this one right here is where the main power is going to be coming in. It's basically about 3.5 inches square, something like that. And this is going to have a 3-prong 120 volt outlet going in it. So I need to provide enough room for the outlet and the wires in it. And so I came up with this design right here. That one leg right there with the hole in it is the long tail. That is going to be welded to the table. The outlet will be going in that hole right there. You know, this isn't something that you can buy anywhere. This is custom size, custom fit just for this application. You know, it might be overkill, everything that I'm doing right here, but that's the fun part of fabrication, is just doing things and making things come together the way you want them to, you know, fully custom. Well, so far it's working out the way that I was hoping. A lot of welding, and then ultimately we're going to get this thing, and I'm going to get the flap disc on there and clean up all the edges. Before we do that, I want to get the other 2 boxes done. Now these are like, if you are an electrician, they're like it's like a 4S box basically. And then you can see those 2 pieces I cut out are the switch plates. That's what I'm going to be using them for, is the switch plates. So it's just assembling these boxes right here, and then ultimately I will be cutting some holes in the back and adding some electrical components that the wires will be running into. So these little mag squares work perfect for getting everything nice and square. You know, I've got several different sizes of these mag squares. If you've seen my videos, you see I use these a lot. These are the smaller ones, and they work perfect in this situation right here. Alright, just a lot of welding once everything is put together. Alright, just taking the flap disc here now and cleaning up everything all the way around, making them into what should be ultimately a nice smooth box. You know, Mercer makes a whole series of flap discs of different kinds, different qualities, and different grits for different applications. You know, this particular one right here is a heavy metal remover. This is, I believe this is like a 36 grit or a 24 grit, and then I use that to just seriously remove some metal. And then sometimes I come back with 60 grit ceramic, and that just smooths things up. All right, so here you can see that's the outlet right there that is going to be going in here. The idea is to drill and tap this, and you know, I'm not that experienced in tapping, so you're going to see right here a started and snap. Oh, bad experience? Well, that's okay. I'll just keep going with another tap and end up snapping both of those taps. The key is lubrication. I found that out. It took me a little bit of time to get those 2 drilled out of there, and then I've added some lubrication, got them tapped, and you know, you learn. You live and you learn. And I know that you definitely need lubrication no matter how small or how big you're using the taps. Alright, so I need to find a way to attach the switch plates to the front of the box. I'm using the same concept as what you would find on a 4S box at electrical supply store. It's just a little tab in the corner, and then I'm ultimately going to drill and tap that tab, and then that is how we're going to attach the switch plate cover to the front of that. It's kind of like that right there. I got the dullest drill bit in the box. Doesn't it always seem to be that way? Good thing I keep a lot on hand. And I switched into a new drill, and there you go. Makes a world of difference. All right, lubrication. It's the key. And no problems tapping these right here. You know, I'd inherited a bunch of tap and tap wrenches from my father-in-law and another good friend of mine, and I've got enough tap and tap wrenches to taps. I got literally boxes of every size tap there is, so I've got plenty of everything, and I'm very fortunate in that situation. I couldn't imagine how much all that stuff costs if you went to buy it new. All right, these are just the screws and the countersunk that's going to be holding the actual switches themselves in, and it just kind of replicates just a regular switch plate. And there they are. That was a quick shot of them being done, and now it's time to start drilling things out. This is just a hole drill. This is how I'm going to get wire into these boxes. This electrical fitting right here, and I'm going to attach that in there. Box is going to get welded to the frame, and then this is an 1.125" hole. This is what the electrical contractor suggested that I do, so he can gain access and pull wire. All the wires for this are going to be running on the inside of the frame, and then I'll be able to cover them up with a plug like that. So, you know, to get around the corners right here, that's what he wanted. I thought it was a pretty good idea, since this is all going to be painted black and this is going to be on the inside of the frame. It's not something that's going to be seen. And, you know, just drill them out, and then he's able to get his fish tape around the corner right there and able to pull the wires all the way through. So I had to do that on 3 sides. Of course, the main power is coming in on the complete opposite end is all the control panels and outlets. So in order to get all the wires over there, we had to go almost all the way around the table. Well, at least from one end to the other side. All right, so I'm switching up here a little bit, moving around. This is the outer ring, and I'm making the connection for the outer ring to actually the platform itself. And this is how it's going to be held together. This is how it's going to be retracted up into the ceiling. So we're going to put 4 of these pins on all 4 corners, and those pins are going to go in and connect to the inner ring. And then ultimately, when the train track is retracted up, that's how it's going to work, like that. And then when it's retracted down, you pull the pins out and then retract the outer ring up in to the garage rafters while you're playing or doing whatever you're doing with the train assembly. When then you're ready, it comes down and you put the pins in, and then up it goes again. Pretty good design. This again, another design built by Newkirk. He's come up with this. He hasn't had a failure yet. He's got some really good designs. Most of all of his stuff is pretty unique. All right, so these are the locking assembly. This is what's going to lock the legs in place. Again, everything is custom made here to hopefully fit. I was just supplied with the locks themselves, the round ball and the cylinder, and it was up to me to try to figure out how the rest of this is going to come together. So this is what I come up with. And then a small piece that fits in there, and it locks into place, and that piece is going to get welded to the leg assembly. The idea is that thing pulls out and comes down and locks into place, and that seems to do its job. So with both those in place and working properly, it's time for me to just finish up the welding on that. All right, so now we're back at installing the boxes here. This is the main power box. This is going in one corner, and you can see I've fished in a temporary wire, and that goes inside the box. I'm hoping that it's going to make the electrician's job a little bit easier. You can see on the bottom of that box, if you can barely see it, but there's a fitting that goes inside the frame, and so I've got that wire pulled through that fitting into the box, and hopefully he'll be able to pull what he needs through there, and then go on from there. All right, so this bigger box is an afterthought. This came in later, so I actually fabricated this off camera, and this is the control panel. This is where all the controls are going to be for the train itself. All right, so this box right here, needs to be removable. That's the idea. They wanted to be sure that if you put this box in place, that we were able to lift it out, to make all the connections, to change the controls, do whatever we need to do. So the box needed to be in a position where it was removable. All right, so it's all this goes together in sequence, and this is a really tight fit in this corner right here. And you can see I fished a temporary piece of wire in there. That also is to help the electrician be able to make it easier for him to pull wire in and around the corner right there. And I needed to get this box put in first because I wouldn't have been able to do it when the bigger box is in place. All right, and then the second box, it gets welded here on the outside, and then the switch is going to be on the inside, or the outlet's going to be on the inside there, and be able to plug everything in on the inside. This is just a last minute design build for sure. We're trying to figure out how everything was going to come together, and you know, this one worked out in our favor. Just like that, they're offset. And then for me to make this removable, I've just welded a couple of tabs, angle iron tabs, to the frame, and then this is a piece of flat bar stock, and then I'm just going to drill and tap and put, that's like a 1/4 20 screw in there to hold it in place. Yeah, kind of just like that. And once everything is secure, and I'm just going to get a couple beads across the top, and that's going to adhere the strap to the box, and then you should be able to just undo those screws, and then the box will slide out. A lot of detail went into this corner, but it's all done. And there it all is finally. The table itself, the legs work, all the electrical components are in it, and they're all working pretty good. So the last thing to do with this phase of the thing is to get some paint on it. Now, it is indoors, so I'm not putting any primer on it, and this is just a gravity fed paint sprayer. I picked this up at the local hardware store, and the color is satin black. A couple of coats of this on there, and we'll be ready to get this thing finished up. That's all I got time for in this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Like always, don't forget to check out my website at JIMBO'sGarage.com for your torch lead holders and t-shirts and stickers, whatever you like. And then also, thanks for following us on Facebook and Instagram. Stay there for all the latest updates of off-camera stuff we got going on. All right, thanks, guys, for watching. See you on the next video. Stay tuned for part 3, the third and final video of this series, coming up here shortly.
See you next time on Jimbo's Garage.